Coming to you from Reason Alliance Media, this is episode 19, Boobaru. I'm Miss B. Haven.
And I'm Demanda Wright.
And we're promoting secular feminism.
And this week's episode, we have Feminism 101, in which I talk about Hillary hating. There's a titillating topic, and it's called Part 2, Politics of Perversion, Weird Sex Laws. Now that sounds interesting.
Ow.
And we have a sketch called Time Warpers Meets Hypatia. It's time for Feminism 101, when Princess Sparklefart's luminescent flatulence helps you navigate the mysterious, murky, malcontented world of man-haters. For many people, the thought of voting for Hillary Clinton for president makes their stomachs churn, gives them a migraine, or perhaps even makes them a bit lightheaded. They would even faint right out if they had to press a button to elect Hillary as dog catcher. These visceral reactions occur not just on the Republican end of the political spectrum, where people are convinced that she's a murderer, but on the Democratic side as well. The intensity of these reactions don't occur with every moderate or centrist Democrat, so it's not her hawkishness, her pro-capitalist and trade policy positions that make you queasy, because we voted for those candidates in the past. I don't even think it's because she's a Clinton. There are people who have a rosy view of the Clinton era, but still find Hillary unacceptable. So what is it? Because this is Feminism 101, I imagine you think I'm going to answer, it's her vagina. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The first response to that charge would be, yes, but I would happily vote for Elizabeth Warren, so it can't be that, right? I really began this project with a desire to understand the intensity of Hillary hatred, how it all began, and what we can learn from it. So here are my very non-academic assumptions about the whole situation. Again, these are just my thoughts, so as always, feel free to disagree, even vehemently if you must. So number one. Many people disagree with her political positions and her work as Secretary of State, but there are many politicians whose policies we disagree with that don't garner this level of emotional response. 2, this intense repulsion of her started long before she began running for president, so it's not her level of political achievement. You're not hating her just because she's running for president, because many of the accusations about her dishonesty or other character flaws started in the 90s when she was First Lady. 3, even people who agree with some of her policy positions believe she's the Wicked Witch of the West, so there's a disconnect between how much you agree or disagree with her policies and the intensity of your disdain for her. So presumptions noted. So here's what Hillary experiences in the way of sexism in the media, which I presume contributes to this ill-defined sense of nausea you're experiencing about her. Saying sexist things about Hillary is still in fashion. Even those who are only opposed to her political positions, those patriarchs of rationalism out there, get all emotional about how much they just don't like something about her. Could it be any of these sexist things? The following examples are all from MediaMatters.org, and many focus on media that moderate and liberal viewers would be consuming. In January of 2008, on a blog post which then appeared in the print edition of the Washington Post, writer Joel Achenbach claimed that Hillary Clinton, quote, needs a radio-controlled shock collar so that aides can zap her when she starts to get screechy. He was describing her performance during a primary debate and said, quote, she came perilously close to going on a tirade. Volume is critical in these things. Don't I know it? On his former MSNBC show, Tucker, host Tucker Carlson asked the question, quote, could you actually live in this country for 8 years having to listen to her voice? When Governor George Pataki responded, of course, he could live in the United States with Clinton as president, Carlson responded, quote, you're a man of steel. On November 7th of 2006, there was a special election coverage on MSNBC. Chris Matthews says, Frank Luntz, Frank, you were talking about smooth transitions, and I was thinking how hard it is for a woman to take on a job that's always been held by a man. And it is so hard. We were watching Hillary Clinton earlier tonight. She was given a campaign barn burner speech, which is harder to give for a woman. It can grate on some men when they listen to it. Fingernails on a blackboard, perhaps. Now here's Nancy Pelosi, who has to do the good fight against the president over issues like minimum wage and reforming, perhaps, prescription drugs so that people can afford drugs and get them in a program that's easy to understand. All kinds of things like that she'll have to go head to head with the president. How does she do it without screaming? How does she do it without becoming grating? This is still Chris Matthews. I have to tell you, Keith, a lot of this has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with, it seems to me, temperament. And I should be the least one to say this, but there are certain people that carry weight with them when they speak. And one part of that is being able to modulate. So it's not sexist because he likes Nancy Pelosi. It's just Hillary Clinton's temperament he doesn't like. Discussing a YouTube video which portrayed Clinton as an Orwellian Big Brother type, Chris Matthews asked, is she Big Brother? And Bloomberg columnist Margaret Carlson said on MSNBC Clinton was Big Mama and a, quote, domineering mother. Chris Matthews then goes on to say that Clinton had a, quote, scolding manner in terms of her public speaking and, quote, she's going to tell us what to do. It should be noted here that Chris Matthews' commentary this election season has been anti-Sanders and pro-Clinton. So this is coming from someone who's now a Clinton supporter. So maybe it's not her voice, really, but perhaps she just reminds you of a lot of negative women. The political director of NPR, Ken Rudden, said, quote, Hillary Clinton is Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction. She's going to keep coming back and they're not going to stop her. This was during an appearance on CNN's Sunday Morning in April of 2008. So this closely aligns with all of the right-wing Republican critiques of her, or conspiracy theories, I should more accurately say, of her having slept with Vince Foster and then having murdered him. So in 2007, MSNBC host Chris Matthews and Tucker Carlson both compared Clinton to Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, who has been described as scheming, manipulative agent who asserts arbitrary control simply because she can. A Media Matters analysis found the comparison had a long history with multiple examples of guest and hosts on NBC, MSNBC, and CNBC making the comparison over the years. The Weekly Standard's Joseph Bottom quoted Shakespeare's. I love that his last name is Bottom. That can't be right. I need to check that out because that's also Shakespearean. Nicely done. Joseph Bottom quoted Shakespeare's Lady Macbeth because Clinton mentioned washing her hands to say hygienic while on the campaign trail. So this was during a 60 Minutes interview with Katie Couric, and Hillary explained that in order to maintain her health, she washes her hands frequently. It's probably not bad advice, but still, you'd think the echoes would have stopped her saying it. Out, damn spot, out, I say. What, will these hands ne'er be clean? So in the tragedy of Macbeth, Lady Macbeth orchestrates the murder of the King of Scotland so that her husband can become king. So again, feeding into the right-wing conspiracy theories of Clinton being a murderer. So this one is by Andrew Gempson in The Guardian, April 2008. Where Lady Macbeth was able to use straightforward assassination to get rid of opponents, Mrs. Clinton has been obliged in this democratic age to fall back on the less reliable method of character assassination. So, no, it's not this, you say. So she doesn't remind you of an evil woman, but she and her followers are, well, they're angry man-haters. That has to be it. So here again, Tucker Carlson, claiming Clinton clearly is playing the gender card. There's a great deal of resentment among women aimed at men. I'm serious. Women are angry at men in a lot of ways. They don't say much about it, but they are. And she's pandering to that resentment and anger. And it's wrong. So I couldn't leave out Rush Limbaugh. Here's Rush Limbaugh repeatedly referring to Clinton's so-called testicle lockbox. There's people I know accused of keeping their husband's testicles in their purse. I won't tell you who that is. So Clinton has apparently a professional testicle lockbox.
I haven't seen them in over 14 years.
Testicle lockbox, stating during the campaign, Mrs. Clinton's testicle lockbox is big enough for the entire Democratic hierarchy, not just some people in the media. And whether they've been taking steroids and the testicles are smaller than usual doesn't matter. I mean, he really extends this metaphor. Her testicle lockbox can handle everybody in the Democratic hierarchy. Limbaugh later claimed that Clinton reminds men of the worst characteristics of women they've encountered over their life, totally controlling, not soft and cuddly, not sympathetic, not patient, not understanding, demanding, domineering. I wouldn't know anything about being demanding. So again, Carlson, referring to the Orwellian Big Brother YouTube clip, says, but there's just something about her that feels castrating, overbearing, and scary.
And painful.
Yes, and painful. He insists, when you watch that, it does get right to the heart of people's instinctive problems with Hillary, which don't have to do with policy. Carlson notes, the ad, quote, seems to be the work of one person who doesn't like Hillary, or in any case perceives the truth about her. So, castrating, now that feels more right, doesn't it?
That's why I said ouch.
Yes. Maybe, however, she castrates you, and she's just not the right kind of woman. In a June 2007 Wall Street Journal column, Peggy Noonan claims Clinton, quote, doesn't have to prove she's a man. She has to prove she's a woman. She has to prove she has normal human warmth, a normal amount of give, of good nature, that she's not at bottom grimly combative and rather dark. She goes on to say Clinton's, quote, problem is not her sex, as she and her campaign pretend. That she as a woman is a boon to her, a source of latent power. But to make it work, she has to seem like a woman. And a Media Matters review of Maureen Dowd's New York Times columns between January 2007 and June of 2008 revealed that Dowd frequently characterized Clinton as masculine while describing her Democratic opponents, Obama and Edwards, as feminine. Dowd called Clinton the man, described her political message as, quote, man-tailored with a dash of pink femininity, and claimed that Clinton was, quote, the manliest candidate among the Democrats, and she also called her a, quote, debate dominatrix. Should we talk about Bill O'Reilly from Fox News? Why, yes, we should. Bill O'Reilly asked in 2008, what's the downside of having a woman become president of the United States? Author Mark Rudolph's initial response was, quote, you mean besides the PMS and the mood swings, right? So O'Reilly, being the bastion of equality that he is, says, well, guys have mood swings too, and implored Rudolph to be fair. Rudolph said, well, you know, I'm joking. Of course, the main problem I have is if a woman has a female agenda. If we take Hillary Clinton, she specifically does have a female agenda. During a 2008 edition of the CNN Situation Room, senior legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin mentioned a New York Times column. The punchline was a line that was that Hillary Clinton was a, quote, white bitch. CNN political contributor Alex Castellanos interrupted, asserting, and some women, by the way, are named that, and it's accurate. She's tough. That tough lady, tough in politics, that's been her great strength. But let's face it, she can be very abrasive, aggressive, irritating person, and a lot of voters, I think, see her that way. I will continue. Political chief columnist of Politico, Roger Simon, began his November 16th, 2007 column by stating, quote, the, parentheses, rhymes with rich, close parentheses, is back. Simon began his column this way after Mike Allen responded to a question about referring to Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton as a bitch by saying, all right, but what Republican voter hasn't thought that? What voter in general hasn't thought that? So she's a bitch. You've thought that, haven't you? But you say this 2006 to 2008. You know, it's been a long time. People have a right to hate her by now, don't we? I mean, she murdered Vince Foster, right? I'll move now from cataloging the misogynistic way in which she's portrayed because people hate her to why I think people hate her. Since the 90s and Bill Clinton's presidency, the Clintons have been scandal magnets, and these scandals with Hillary at the center always feel right because as First Lady, Hillary just didn't know her place. The only scandals that seem to stick to Bill are his sexual ones, while Hillary seems responsible for a range of nefarious deeds. She's rather like the evil mastermind. Well, she was probably frigid, and that's why Bill cheated, so all of that's probably her fault too. I mean, can you blame him? Who would want to sleep with her? Am I right? During Bill Clinton's presidency and during the Obama administration, the right-wing opposition machine and media grew into its terrible tantrum years after cutting its teeth on scandals in the 90s, such as Whitewater, the Cattle Futures scandal, Travelgate, the Rose Law Firm, all the way to today's version of ginned-up controversy, Benghazi. Maybe the recent Benghazi scandal creation is coloring my perception of what Republicans call scandals, but no evidence ever came to light that could prove nefarious deeds were done. on, unless you take as credible the film, The Clinton Chronicles, that investigates mysterious deaths surrounding the Clintons. Apparently, they have a body count attached to them. People have looked for 2 decades into the Clintons' lives and have picked each incident apart and came up with no evidence. Evidence, you say? You've just got to be naive if you don't believe all of this doesn't add up to something. Naive? No. I actually require a bit of evidence. According to Frank Rich, in an article, he says, quote, in the Washington Free Beacon, a rising right-wing website, they mined the Diane Blair papers, the archives of a deceased political science professor and Hillary friend that were held at the University of Arkansas. So they covered these papers as a breathless scandal for days. And what did they find? Around 1976, Bill Clinton, who just turned 30, confessed at the end of a letter, quote, he had fallen asleep the night before while reading an erotic love poem from the 17th century. It was Marvell's To a Coy Mistress. So the pundit, Michael Barone, alerted his readers about these papers in late March that a decade ago, Clinton traveled on, quote, the private plane of a man later convicted of having sex with a minor. So notice I've said nothing of Bill Clinton's sex scandals, of which Hillary, I don't think, was a participant. So perhaps it is because Bill Clinton was getting his knob bobbed outside the official marriage bedchamber. Or perhaps it was Hillary's decision to stay with Bill after his sexcapades. Or perhaps it's just the general idea that as First Lady, Hillary Clinton didn't know her place. We've all heard the joke that Hillary actually ran the White House during her husband's presidency. All of this has been going on a long time. In 1996, Henry Louis Gates penned a piece for The New Yorker called Hillary Hating, wherein he writes, quote, like horse racing, Hillary hating has become one of those national pastimes which unite the elite and the lumpen. Serious accusations have, of course, been leveled against the president's wife, but it's usually what people think of her that determines the credence and the weight they give to the accusations, rather than the reverse. At times, she herself sounds at a loss to explain the level of animosity toward her. And Hillary says, quote, I apparently remind some people of their mother-in-law or their boss or something. She laughs, but she isn't exactly joking. So where do we go from here? Are we to go all House of Cards and believe she's Frank Underwood because no one gets evidence that sticks? Do we go all tinfoil hat and believe there has been a mass conspiracy to suppress the evidence, even though books upon books and news show upon news shows have leveled sinister charges that they couldn't make stick? Even all the while knowing who the Clintons flew on a plane with last century. Either way, we're left with our gut feeling about it all and no evidence, just a half century of character assassinations that leave us all icky feeling inside. Does that mean I can prove she's innocent of these allegations? No. Should I have to? Does that mean I agree with all of her political positions? No. Hey, I'm not asking you to vote for her. I'm merely asking why you hate her so much.
Well done.
Why do you hate her so much?
I don't hate Hillary at all. At all. I must say, and this is splintering off.
There's enough room I can.
Splintering off of the Hillary thing just a bit. Speaking of Elizabeth Warren, which you brought up, some folks have brought up Elizabeth Warren as a potential VP candidate for Hillary because they usually try to look for somebody who will help balance the ticket policy wise, and Elizabeth is a little bit left of Hillary. And I've heard a lot of people say and respond to this by, regardless of what you think of the two of them or their policies, that they could never do that because they're both women. Right?
Oh, come on.
And the idea is that, well, I mean, it's bad enough that you've got a woman running for vice president. It would be absurd to have a woman running as president and then a woman running as vice president.
Hillary recently said, however,
on
the town hall that she had on MSNBC, she was asked about the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau making 50% of his cabinet women.
Right.
And she was asked the question, and she said, of course, my cabinet is going to reflect society at large. And so the moderator pushed back and said, does that mean it's going to be 50% women? She said, yes.
But does that mean that there's going to be a lot more minorities and non-Christians? Because that would be great.
Well, we should hold her to that.
Yeah, we really should.
We'll see.
If it's more reflective of society.
The implication is that even though every single president and vice president until now
has been men.
They've both been men, that you couldn't possibly have two, a woman as president and vice president. It reminds me of, I apologize. I forget which of the ladies on the Supreme Court had said this, but they were asked, when would it balance out, when we had enough women on the Supreme Court?
Oh, I think, was that Sonia Sotomayor?
I want to say it's Sotomayor. And yes. And they were expecting her to say half. And she said, well, it's all women. And they were like, well, how is that fair? All women. They're just like, well, they've all been men up till now and nobody's questioned that. Yeah. And that's the kind of thinking that you have. So you when are we going to be able to have, a woman, not only as president, but, as a woman president, woman as vice president, women is more than half of the Senate and, the Supreme Court and mayors and governors and that sort of thing.
My theory about this election is even if, Hillary's platform became as progressive as Bernie Sanders, which it's not going to, but if it did, I feel like there would still be quite a strong contingent of Sanders supporters who would say, yes, okay, it's the progressive platform I wanted to vote for, but I don't trust her.
Well,
I still am not going to vote for her.
Yeah, and you're right, because every time she does say something that is pretty left or progressive, they're like, oh, she's just saying that just because. She's just doing that just because Sanders is doing it. Yeah, she's just cheating, that sort of thing. And there's an awful lot, especially people on the left of Hillary hating out there, especially on Facebook. It's very difficult to stomach. And it's interesting because I just heard this on NPR.
It was Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Was it Ruth
That's
Bader?
what I thought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
she said, quote, when I'm sometimes asked when will there be enough women on the Supreme Court, and I say when there are 9, people are shocked, but there'd been 9 men and nobody's ever raised a question about that.
There you go.
Oh yeah, it was Sotomayor who had a great quote about being a Latina woman.
Yeah. Yep.
That's right.
But I completely forgot where I was going with that, but had something to do with feminism. Fairly certain.
Well, that would be contextually appropriate.
Yeah. But I was just going to say there's a lot of hatred out there, and it seems like really crazy. Oh yes, I know. I heard a really great segment on NPR where they were talking about, while it seems like there's a lot of hatred out there for Hillary, it's strangely enough not representative of how she is thought of on the Hill, because a lot of people in Congress who, or even in the opposition, really liked her, and because she was easy to work with, and she
could compromise.
She was
think that's your
prepared
problem.
And studied and that sort of thing.
I think they don't want anybody who will compromise with the other side.
Well, I don't know that I never hear that though. I never hear that as a complaint. It might be the case, but I never hear
people always want somebody who's going to compromise. They want people who are going to cross the aisles and try to actually get shit done.
But what I'm thinking, what's interesting is that I think a lot of the hatred is coming from people on the left, because this is the last anecdote that I'll throw out there. I have a very good friend who's a beautiful, wonderful person, a human being, but I remember the conversation way back in the Clinton era about how she hated Hillary Clinton, and I was trying to figure out why. And she said, well, because the whole Monica Lewinsky thing. And I was like, well, how in the fuck is that? How do you transfer that to her?
You bombed the old knob, and
then she was like, well,
wife's fault.
Well, that's
not real sex.
She didn't divorce him. And I was like, we don't even know what the fucking situation was. Like, all we know is what they've said.
Fucking situation.
Yeah, exactly.
If I get the impression actually that if it had been a threesome, nobody would have had a problem with it.
Well, I don't know. It might have been.
Rather, nobody would have had a problem with Hillary's part of it.
I don't know. They may have hated on her just as much and said, how dare she do something like that? Or I don't know. I don't get it. I do not get it, because there's an awful lot of it that I can understand arguing about specific policies. And it's like, well, I wish she was further to the left, because I do. But there are certain places that, certainly with Barack Obama, with Bill Clinton, with Bernie Sanders even, because I wish he was bigger on gun control and the environment and that sort of thing, and more vocal about that and women's issues. But I'm going to be that way about everybody, you know, about specific things. But people are just like absolutely fucking hate her guts.
The inexplicable hatred of Hillary reminds me a lot of the ick factor when it came to gay marriage, and how so many people were against gay marriage just because they didn't have any friends who were gay. And so the idea, or transgender people, because they were like grossed out at the idea of, you know, two men being married, or transgender people being in the bathrooms with their women and children.
Yep.
I'm still trying to wrap my mind around what the millennial hatred of her is. It's like, have they just sort of imbibed that from their parents' discourse about Hillary? Because they probably wouldn't be aware of many of the 90s scandals. They may have been aware of all of the things that were said about her.
I am certain that it carried over from the 90s, because I technically count as a millennial. And I remember distinctly all of the shit people said about Hillary in response to the Monica Lewinsky stuff.
I just don't understand. I cannot wrap my head
even as a
around
kid,
that.
I was like, what the hell? It's not her fault.
Yeah. But a lot of people said, just as Demanda said, a lot of people are like, well, it's her fault, because if she was doing her duty in the bedroom,
oh my God,
Bill wouldn't have done that.
Okay. Everybody out there.
It's the spectrum. She either, for people who are more conservative of nature, she should have been doing what she needed to do in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And for, you know, feminist on the other side of the spectrum, she should have divorced him immediately, as you were saying.
Or people can actually take responsibility for their own actions, and other people can realistically forgive them for that because they've loved them for their whole entire adult life. Some people are capable of that. And maybe we should take that into consideration when we think about Hillary Clinton.
People need to go back and look at their history of, you know, of first ladies who've had to deal with this sort of thing before, because certainly there have been very many of them. And the great feminist goddess, Eleanor Roosevelt, certainly had her share, because FDR was a lovely, wonderful human being who did a lot for this country, but was also a fucking dick cheese to Eleanor at times, and many of the other women that he was with. And so go back and look at history. Look at Jack
and spread that on your
Ian.
Fucking cracker.
That's right.
Go crusty dick Cheez-Its.
Go watch that Bill Murray movie. What was it called?
That was oh shit! What was that? It was an excellent, lovely movie.
I'm just going to eat brownie brittle now. I've said my piece and drink
It was
my
an
wine.
excellent segment, by the way. I thought that was very well.
Hyde Park on Hudson.
Hyde Park
is that
on
movie
I kept wanting to
about
say it was Moscow on the Hudson, but that's the
Bill
Robin
Murray
Williams film.
as FDR. If you want to see how much frickin' Eleanor Roosevelt had to deal with, go watch that.
Perversion.
Part 2. No, I'm not going to. No.
You gonna Eliza Doolittle this thing up?
Pot douche.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains.
I'm recording.
Okay, good. Today's titillating topic is part 2 of the
No.
Politics of Perversion series.
Titillating topic.
Titillating topic.
Yes, now.
You'll see later why that is
My cockney just went way southern.
happening. Your cock went where?
To the south.
This is a titillating topic, so this is appropriate conversation. So part 2 of the Politics of Perversion, I just have a complete list of weird sex laws in the U.S. That was on io9.com a while back, and there's some crazy shit on here. However,
They're just trying to criminalize me, aren't they?
The article is from 2013, so some of these may have been repealed since then, so keep that in mind. But I'm just going to go through them, and we can talk about how crazy they are.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Hit me.
You guys?
My body is ready.
I want to talk about sex.
Okay. I
about
kind of want to
sex,
make you guys
baby.
guess these every now and then. Okay, so
We
Alabama.
could make it a game. I was going to say you can make it
Make
a
it a
game
game.
by
Did you just
making
like
us
sing
guess.
Milli Vanilli?
Talk about sex, baby.
No, that's salt and pepper.
That's salt and pepper.
Oh.
Salt and pepper.
It's salt and pepper.
Don't ask Amanda about pop culture.
No, I was not lip singing
No.
my own music.
Okay.
But we should guess
Wait,
the
Okay.
there's Salt and Pepper and Spinderella. That's not right either.
wiki.
Is that right? Okay, let's go on.
Amanda was
I've
rapping
redeemed
earlier.
myself.
Yep, it was amazing.
It
It was
great.
Irish rap. Go ahead.
So, today's titillating topic, we are going to guess what the craziest sex law is for each state. And there are some crazy things in it. So even if you get like the general
I'm raising my hand.
idea of it right,
I was going to say we should guess the state. You should
guess
tell
the
us
state.
Yes, you should tell us
That's even better.
Yes, you tell us the weird law.
My
We'll try
arm's
to guess
getting
what
tired.
state
Okay,
it's illegal in.
it's in alphabetical order though. I didn't need to tell you that shit.
Alabama.
Fuck you.
You can.
I'm going to find one that's not
You
in
can read it out of order.
alphabetical order. Okay.
You're very smart,
Okay.
Mr. Wright.
Okay,
We're
okay,
so
okay.
impressed.
Okay.
You got everyone right.
Okay. Which state has, and this was in 2013, so some of these may have been repealed.
yeah.
Rarely are repealed. These are rarely repealed.
Rarely.
Is it about gerbils?
No.
Okay.
In this state, you may not have more than 2 dildos in the same house, so the penis gallery would be not
You
allowed
need
in the same house.
options.
I don't know. Dildos, like Texas, I know has got a few laws against dildos.
It is a state in the western part of the United
Okay,
States.
so I'm close if it's not Texas.
I'm raising my hand.
What, Demanda?
Oregon.
Nope, not Oregon. Oregon is much more liberal than that.
Is it Texas?
Bad guess.
No, it is not Texas.
I got a guess.
Okay.
Arizona.
Yep. Did you just Google that? You little shit.
Nope.
Put your phone
He's
down.
on the Google machine. He's
Phone
such a
down.
cheater.
This is like trivia. If you cheat, you don't get any
No.
You
prizes.
should get some special effects, sound effects there.
Oh, man.
God.
Nope,
Can you
good
get that?
for you.
Can you find that
Mr. Wright
cut
is
off.
winning. Okay, next. I have
Okay.
to catch up.
Okay.
That was a flashback. Go ahead.
Okay. In this state, it's illegal to sell stuffed items resembling breasts, quote, booby pillows, within 1,000 feet of a highway.
Could we have a geographical vicinity?
This is also in the western part of the United States.
Me.
I heard you talking about this earlier, so I'm not going to guess.
I'm
I
guessing now.
didn't actually talk about this one.
I bet I know.
No, I didn't.
Nevada.
Nope.
I bet it's Colorado.
No, it isn't.
No.
Oh,
Them high fuckers.
what is it?
I would not have guessed that it was this state.
It's California.
It sure is.
See? There you go.
Yep.
See, I
No
did hear you
booby
talking
pillows
about it.
in California.
I did not talk about this one.
I wouldn't have known otherwise.
Okay, no marital disputes on the podcast.
Okay.
Proceed.
I'd just like to point out that there's also one in California that says no man shall dress as a woman without the written permission of the sheriff in Walnut, California.
Sheriff, please.
In Walnut.
My eye.
Wow.
As if they don't have enough problems being called
I
Walnut.
can imagine. Do you have a license for that dress, sir? I don't know why I did that
You're
accent. It's
within
not a
the center of
California
the
Prophet
accent.
Jeremiah would be in big trouble right now.
Yeah.
In Walnut.
In Walnut, California.
Stay out of Walnut.
Stay out of Walnut, Jeremiah.
Yeah, you
okay.
fucking nut.
This one is going to be pretty obvious, guys. Moose are banned from having sex on city streets.
I'm Wyoming.
Wait.
Moose, that would be Alaska.
Moose. This is a law.
Dakota. Fargo.
This is a law. Let me just get this understand this here. This is a law that makes it illegal for moose
To have sex on city streets.
So there are police. They see mooses having sex, and
that be
then,
meese?
the plural is moose.
and then the police
The meeses.
run up out of all the
I
ridiculousness.
know, that's what I
here.
was
You're
thinking. I was
calling
like,
this
even if they got a forklift, this would not work at all.
there's like
They're going to be dead.
There's somebody writing a citation and trying to hand it to a moose. That's
I was going to say, how the fuck do you arrest a moose?
ridiculous.
Well, if it's Bullwinkle, it'd be pretty easy. He's kind of a wimp.
Well, he'll be doing Rocky anyway.
hey, Rocky,
This didn't happen.
watch where I pull this out of.
I'm a big Bullwinkle fan. Okay.
I don't know, but I have nightmares about Fargo. Go
Next.
ahead.
I'm sorry about your nightmares.
It's
So
true.
where was it? Did you say?
It was Alaska.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Well, that makes
specifically
sense.
I
Fairbanks.
got that one, dude.
Fairbanks.
I actually have
Yes, you're in the
Yeah.
lead. You're
Yeah.
brilliant. Go
You got it.
on.
Alaska.
My cousin lives in Alaska, and I'd really like to find out how that is.
How that's enforced? I'd really
enforced.
like to know how that's enforced.
I'd really like
would
to know
like to
if there's like
see that
if there's like a
enforced.
moose sex task force, like how that happens. If they've got like semis ready at
They get like
any
a
given
SWAT
moment.
team.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's for the sake of public decency, you know.
Yeah.
They'd have to have something that is bigger and more destructive than a moose. I
Who
mean, they'd
wants
have to have
see
like
a big
tiger
old moose
in
humping
Alaska.
in the town square?
They've got the Moose Buster
They got
armor.
the polar bear police.
Tony Stark shows up in his Moose Buster armor.
Man, they got the polar bear police.
Stop fucking moose.
Oh, we're gonna have to call the Avengers again. They're going at it right in the streets. This is bad for business.
I can see moose fucking from my house.
Listen, Moose. I know you have urges, but you just need to abstain.
Okay. Next state.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm going to get this one.
Keeping
I'm
a
on it.
house in this state, keeping a house where unmarried persons are allowed to have sex is prohibited.
Unmarried
Keeping a
person,
house?
Keeping a house where
like
unmarried
specifically for the
persons
purposes of.
are allowed to have sex is prohibited.
Oh, so you can't.
What does that mean? Keeping? Does that mean owning a house or
Good question.
being like a landlord or?
It doesn't specify. I bet the law probably doesn't specify that much either.
That has to be Mississippi.
Nope.
Is it North Carolina?
Nope.
That's your guess now, Mr. Right.
You've already guessed this state quite a few times.
I'm going to say Colorado again.
Yep. It sure is.
You're
And-
like 5 for 5 or something.
There's another
it's because
one.
she's going in alphabetical order.
Yeah. I'm just
She
doing
told
like
me and I didn't even catch on.
God
I've
damn
had
it.
way too much wine. This is ridiculous.
Not anymore.
Oh,
I was guessing fucking Wyoming, and we're at the
so-
beginning.
There's another one in Colorado though, and this one is great. In Adams County, male massage parlor workers must wear all white clothing.
That's in case the jizz gets on you.
That's right.
But that doesn't explain Jeremiah's
Blends in.
dress.
It's
It wasn't
like,
all
it's
white.
like painters. You know they're pros if they don't get anything on their white
That's what it is.
outfits. Yeah. Okay.
And it could be like squirting from the vajazzle or something.
That's right.
Okay, we actually have two
Female
states that have very
ejaculation.
similar laws, so I'm going to read the two laws and we'll
Okay.
figure out which two
Guess
states
two
this
states.
is.
All
Okay.
right.
One says married couples as well as singles cannot engage in open lewdness or lascivious behavior. And there's another one that says flirtation and lascivious banter between men and women on the streets may result in a 30-day jail term.
That's the fucking Mormons.
They are very close in
Oh
their
no,
language.
that can't be.
so-
Are we in alphabetical order?
No, she's
You don't know
she's
anymore.
mixed it up.
No, she's
She
mixed it up.
says
It's Utah.
Nope.
Oh man.
They're two different states though, and they have very similar
about
laws.
lasciviousness.
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Nope.
It all happened in Mississippi.
Mississippi's going to have something crazy bizarre. Come on.
I know Georgia has one about squirrels.
Yep.
That's good.
Molesting a squirrel.
Is it
Yeah.
Michigan?
No.
Delaware and Florida.
Florida's one of them.
Florida's one of them. Which one's Florida?
Florida is the married couples as well as singles cannot engage in open lewdness or lascivious behavior,
That never happens in Florida.
How do you know
Ever.
all of this?
especially not in Miami.
No, Palm Beach.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the other one then?
Connecticut.
Nope.
South
Alabama.
Close.
Close to
Arkansas.
Louisiana.
We're in the south.
Arkansas. Yep.
Arkansas.
It's Arkansas. Arkansas is the one that lascivious behavior
I
and flirtation
suck
between
at
men
this
and women
game.
on the streets may result in a 30-day jail term. It's only in Little Rock, but still,
Oh,
that's crazy.
I wonder if that had something to do with Bill.
Probably.
I'm losing at this game. Can we have a new game?
That's because you're a prude.
Nope. You should be keeping track of which states we've done already. Okay. Here's another dildo one. In this state, it's illegal to own more than 6 dildos.
More
To
than
just
6.
own more than 6.
Why in the fuck would you own more than 6 anyway?
Because
You've got to have variety.
Oh,
That's right.
They have attachment.
Also,
The older ones didn't have attachments, so you had to get an individual one for
had
each
attachments.
sensation.
Also-
Amanda, how in the fuck would you know?
She went to my birthday
Hey,
party.
time
She
out.
was there.
Okay.
Demanda.
I did say Demanda.
Did you really? No, you didn't.
and Mr. Wright, I would like to point out that sometimes people like to have parties. And I'd like to put
Well, I'd
people
like to have
over.
parties, but she won't let me.
And sometimes it's not BYOD.
Maybe you need to get more dildos then.
Am
That's
I?
the problem.
Am I? Would you say frigid?
No.
Am I an angry, man-hating, frigid feminist?
No.
So
I
what
was
state is
thinking
this in?
prudish.
So they're okay with
6.
up to 6 dildos.
So
No
you
more
can have
than
a
6
lot of
dildos. So you can
dildos
actually have
that-
6
6 dildos. They're
but
okay
no
with
more
6
than that.
dildos. 7 dildos.
Connecticut. I
is
mean,
right out.
it's about propriety, right? Connecticut.
But
They're
you could have
liberal.
them in like a safe deposit box, and it wouldn't matter.
Right.
It's illegal
You've
to
met
own
your
more than
dildo
6
capacity.
That
dildos.
totally sounds like Delaware. I mean, they have all of those convoluted banking laws.
No,
No,
but that
no.
would be funny.
Why is your phone buzzing?
Oh, we got a vibrator going on in here.
North Dakota.
Nope.
Guess that one.
It is in the southern United States.
All these are going to be from southern United States.
South Carolina,
Nope.
Georgia,
Louisiana.
Nope.
Mississippi.
It was like the first state that you guys guessed for the last dildos thing.
Was it
Oh,
Texas?
heck.
Yes, Texas.
Oh, I thought that like
Texas.
dildos was like right out in Texas. I thought that like you couldn't own any dildos.
No,
Okay.
it's just that you can't own more than 6 dildos, and selling them, you have to sell them as like medical devices.
Oh, that's right. You can't
Yeah.
like you. They have to be sold as medical devices. You can't sell dildos for
Because
sexual pleasure.
They cure hysteria
That's right.
Okay.
and wandering wombs.
Yep.
In this state, an unmarried couple who lived together and lewdly associated could face up to a year in jail.
North Carolina.
This one has actually been repealed.
North Carolina.
Nope.
No.
Not far from it, though.
South Carolina.
Nope.
Virginia.
Not that one.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
West Virginia.
West Virginia. There you go. Okay.
Oh, I hate this game. I'm losing.
Okay, in
there's a
this
funny
state, public erections are illegal.
What?
What in the hell
Public
happened? I got to
erections
find
are
you.
Public erections. None of us would be allowed there.
Is this one Utah?
No, but it is a northern state,
A northern.
despite its name.
South Dakota?
Yes. Good job.
Oh, that was a good guess.
Yeah.
South Dakota.
Okay.
I see what you did there. You gave a hint.
That was
This
a good
one is crazy. It is really crazy. It's illegal to lie down in a public restroom or for 2 people to share a stall meant for one. Must be a lot of bathroom sex in this state.
New York.
Nope.
New Jersey.
Western state.
Oh.
Washington.
No, but not far.
Oregon?
Oregon.
There you go. Crazy ass Oregon. Okay. In this state, students may not hold hands in school.
Utah.
It's like
No, but I would have guessed that.
I would think the Mormons.
I would not have guessed this state for this because this is so ridiculous. But then again, they do some ridiculous shit there.
it's illegal for
Students may not
students
hold hands in school.
in school.
I don't know. Cricket.
Southern state.
Another a southern state.
Yep.
But when you don't associate with
Louisiana.
Not Louisiana.
We don't know.
Missouri.
Alabama,
It's a neighboring state of ours.
South Carolina,
South Carolina.
Nope.
Georgia.
Virginia.
Tennessee.
Yep.
Tennessee.
Yep.
You got one.
I'm just
You
wondering.
narrowed it down
I'm
for
kind of
me.
wondering about these, though. You know, they are crazy laws. Wonder what the damn fines are for these. Do you get arrested or do you get a fine?
Yeah. What are you
what's
gonna
going
get? What are you gonna get from a school kid?
I mean, what the fuck are you going to
Like
give to
kindergartners
a, What
who
are you
hold
going to give to a
hands.
moose?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being serious. I mean, these are laws that are on our books in the United States. What the fuck are you going to get fined for?
It's absurd.
You going to spend 2 days in jail for holding somebody's hand?
Yeah, little kid.
Okay.
No, they don't let them have their green jello at lunch.
Well, this is a law. This is not a school rule.
Well, and if they got wacky laws, who knows what their wacky punishments are.
Exactly.
I've got another one that's pretty great.
You get
Flirting.
hung by your dick.
Flirting is illegal.
Flirting is illegal.
Yep.
Utah.
I'm arrested.
Poor Utah.
No.
Well, that's
It's presumably the home of dildos and more.
Oh, New Jersey.
Jersey.
Yep. In Haddon Township, New Jersey, flirting is illegal. I'm so sorry for anybody who lives there. Oh, man. That really sucks.
They really need dildos,
I know.
dildos, and more dildos.
It's just awful. Okay, one more and then we'll stop all this craziness. Okay. In this state, nudity is allowed as long as genitals and female nipples are covered. So, monkey parts.
Monkey parts, no monkey parts.
No monkey parts.
It's not really nudity. It's just the butt then.
I was going to say, that's damn near every state.
That's just the butt.
That's totally California.
Nope. We already did California.
See,
This
I
is
quit.
this is
game
a south
sucks.
It's definitely
southwestern state.
It's definitely not Utah.
Yeah, it is not Utah.
Not the
Because that's
Southwest.
way too many body parts.
It's New Mexico.
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
It is.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness, I totally guessed.
You got
And
another one.
just because we're
I'm
here
back in the game, folks.
New Mexico.
in North Carolina, adultery is illegal, and it is actually enforced to the point where people have made millions of dollars in court because of adultery in their relationships, which is just insane. I mean, I can understand a divorce court proceeding, but it actually happens outside a divorce court.
In criminal court.
And pretending to be married in order to share a hotel room is also illegal in North Carolina. However, if you register together as an unmarried couple for a hotel room, then you can be legally counted as married in North Carolina.
Well, is that still the case? Because
It actually is. It's
because
still
they repealed the what do you call it when you live together for a long time?
common law marriage.
Common law marriage,
Yeah,
'cause-
by Amendment 1.
So if you wanted to be married without getting married, then all you have to do is we could have made it so much simpler.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck
All you
you.
have to do is
A lot cheaper.
check into the
Our
Marriott.
anniversary is in like 3 days.
Exactly. we
Shut
could have
up.
made it so much easier.
Yeah, you could have made it so much cheaper.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we wouldn't have had to have God film it.
Good times in the
Also,
honeymoon suite.
in case you were wondering and wanting to have a little walkabout, in North Carolina, it's also illegal to have sex in a churchyard.
What?
So all you goths out there, don't go having sex in a churchyard.
And all you fuckers who can't sing in tune, it's also illegal to sing out of tune in North Carolina.
Now, for the first
In
time
public.
ever, goths have something to be pissy about.
I know, right? Also, in North Carolina,
Are
oral sex
emo
is considered
goths a
a
thing?
crime against
they are.
nature.
Now, what was the crime against nature?
Oral sex. In North Carolina,
In
oral
North-
sex is
Is
considered a crime against nature.
Of course
Yep.
it is. Of course it is.
And let's see. There was one more I was going to tell you guys about.
I know you have to do it missionary with the blinds closed.
Oh, yeah. That was the one. In North
Thank you.
Carolina, you have to have sex in missionary position the entire time, and you have to have the blinds closed.
So that way they know you're doing missionary.
I'm pretty positive everybody in this room has performed illegal acts.
I'm performing illegal acts as we speak.
Doggy style. Doggy, doggy, doggy. I'm sorry.
Those are absurd.
Oh my goodness, he's having fantasies again.
If any listeners out there know about any other really super crazy sex laws, they should send that to where?
Promoting secular feminism at gmail.com, or you can leave a comment on our website at promotingsecularfeminism.com. We'll have this episode posted on our website, and there will be a little comment section. Or you can also tweet us. We're at Secular Feminism. I'd love to hear more about the crazy sex laws in your state.
And if you have
because
performed these
it's
acts,
insane.
please get into detail and tell us all about them.
Yes, we
We need detail.
apparently the Penis Gallery really needs to know about this.
Dear PSF letters.
Dear Penis Gallery.
Well, there was a squirrel with a very bushy tail.
I thought we banned Rodentia last time we were here. We sure did.
Oh, write me a citation.
Blimey.
Now that's a segue.
Bananas.
Bananas
It's time for
and
bananas.
pajamas.
Time for some bananas.
On the last episode of Time Warpers, Professor MacGuffin's new companion Tuesday Night learned the hard way not to play with the MacGuffin machine.
I told you not to touch the controls, you silly street urchin. Now the MacGuffin machine has sent us careening through space-time, only to end up Kronos knows where.
Blimey, you should talk fancy like.
The time machine crashed sometime in the late Cretaceous period.
Cool, blimey, look at that giant chicken.
That's no chicken, you silly girl. That's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Run!
Narrowly escaping the Tyrannosaurid, our illustrious heroes find themselves prisoner of the evil time-traveling foil and major nemesis of Professor MacGuffin, Mr. Moniker.
I have you now, Professor MacGuffin.
Oi, you let the prof go, you cheeky brute.
Oh, you broke me bones, you stupid bitch.
While I can't say I approve of your violent behavior, Tuesday, I cannot argue with its efficacy.
Oh, go on with ya.
And after salvaging Mr. Moniker's time machine for parts,
Hey, that's my fine machine parts.
Stuff it, you wanker, or I'll feed you to that giant cock outside.
Tyrannosaur.
Oh my.
we now join our heroes as they slingshot across the space-time continuum.
It's as I feared. Our salvaged parts have allowed us to successfully open up a wormhole, but until we repair the Wellesian chronomatrix, our destination cannot be assigned or pinpointed.
How about you repeat that, prof, but this time in English?
We can't control when or where we are going.
Blimey!
We've landed, but where and when? And are you all right, Tuesday?
Crash landed almost knocked me knickers off.
Well, please adjust your underclothing. We need to find out when and where we are.
You mean this fancy time-traveling doohickey ain't got one of them there sensor-reading thingamabobs, which what can tells you where we are without going outside and almost getting ate by giant chickens?
First of all, and for the last time, Tuesday, that was a dinosaur, not a giant chicken. Secondly, the field of chronotone particles surrounding the MacGuffin machine would naturally interfere with any sensory devices on the outside of the machine. And thirdly, I actually never thought about it, but I suppose I should really put in a window.
Well, me knickers are back up around me bum, so let's go out and see if there's any Tyranno what's-it's gonna eat us. Cool, blimey! It's like all ancient Greece out here.
Close, my dear Tuesday, but you're a few thousand miles off. From the angle of the sunlight, the smells of the antiquarian street cuisine, and the ubiquitous late Byzantine architecture, I would place us in northern Africa, probably Egypt, around 400 CE.
Like with pyramids and camels and all that?
Yes, but judging from the amount of sea spray in the air, I would say Giza is a bit south of us.
What's that mean?
No pyramids, although we can probably find a camel or two.
Blimey, don't they stink a bit?
I will discuss with you the meaning of irony someday, Tuesday, and the fact that you haven't bathed in a week.
Is it Saturday already?
Meanwhile, we must see if we can find assistance in adjusting the chronomatrix, and I think I know just the mathematician to do so.
They got maths here in ancient Egypt.
Indeed, my dear Tuesday, there is a long history of mathematical study in Egypt, to say nothing of the Greco-Roman contributions to science and math, and if my hunch is correct, we are in none other than the famed seat of Byzantine philosophy and learning, Alexandria.
Who's she?
Alexandria is not a she, it's an it. Currently the largest and most learned city in the world, Alexandria is home to not only ancient wonders, but also one of the greatest minds in antiquity, and that is who we are on the way to see right now.
Cool, what's its place then with all the steps and columns?
This is our destination, Tuesday, the University of Alexandria. Hopefully she is teaching today.
Meanwhile, in the Neoplatonic philosophy class of U of A.
This reflection, if carried by the individual soul with the memory of its provenance always in the foreground, will lead to a just governing of the physical cosmos, which will make of it a perfect material image of the intellectual cosmos, i.e., the realm of the forms. Yes, Cyril, I see your hand is up again. What is it?
Will this be on the finals?
This is 400 CE, Cyril. We haven't invented final exams yet.
So, is that a no?
Yes, Cyril, that's a no.
Yes, it's a no. No, it isn't on the final exam, or no, it is on the final exam.
No, it isn't because it doesn't exist.
I'm confused.
That's philosophy for you.
I don't like philosophy.
But aren't you going into the church?
Yep, I'm going to be the church patriarch of Alexandria. What do I need to know philosophy for?
What indeed?
Please pardon my interruption, but my friend and I are in a bit of a rush. Are you Hypatia of Alexandria?
I am. And who are you, strange people, with such bizarre attire and manner of speaking?
My name is Professor Abigail MacGuffin, and this is my companion, Tuesday Night.
Ta! Hey, hold on. Why is this Egypt lady speaking English if she's all ancient and foreign?
My dear Tuesday, the MacGuffin machine has a special device which emits a powerful psionic field around a particular plot of land where it is located. This field allows for communication by translating language subconsciously, and it is beamed directly into our brains. The mechanism that allows this is called a plot device.
How convenient.
Indeed. Now, Madam Hypatia, if I may beg your assistance, Tuesday and I are in need of your help.
What can I do for you?
Tuesday and I are actually not from Alexandria, but are travelers in both time and space.
As we all are. How could else we exist if we did not move in space, or if we did not travel into the future from the past?
Bit of a pedant, isn't she?
What I mean to say is that we are from a time yet to be.
Remarkable. How could I help such awesome travelers, or the mad, whichever you prove to be?
Our vessel has a broken navigation device. I understand you have some experience in this area.
I have done some extensive study of the astrolabe, as well as many astronomical charts.
You are uniquely qualified to help us. How fortunate we arrived here at your doorstep.
Is that the plot device again?
Probably. Madam Hypatia, would you care to join us on a short excursion back to our vessel?
I will follow you. Class is dismissed for now. For next week, please read scrolls 6 through 10 of Plotinus Aeneids. Yes, Cyril.
Will these time travelers be on the finals?
Later at the MacGuffin machine.
There it is, Professor. Your McMuffin machine time travel thingy. Never thought I'd feel glad to see that again.
Nor I. Madam Hypatia, if you would like to step inside.
And so, Professor MacGuffin and the Lady Hypatia worked long into the night on recalibrating the Wellesian chronomatrix. Tuesday tried to make tea, but could only find camel milk.
Unpasteurized.
Well, thank you, Madam Hypatia.
Please, we've spent all night together inventing calculus. Call me Hippie.
Thank you, Hippie. It is time for us to depart, I'm afraid.
Thank you, dear Professor, for this unique and enlightening experience.
Please, call me Abby.
Thank you, Abby. Good journey, Miss Abby, from the days yet to be. And to you too, Tuesday of the unfrequent bathing.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Miss Hippopotamus. It's working. Is it working?
Thank Kronos it appears to be. We can now navigate with some precision.
Where are we going then? And when?
On another adventure, no doubt.
Just no giant chickens.
No giant chickens.
Can I call you Abby?
Absolutely not.
On the next episode of Time Warpers, Tuesday spills her camel milk tea all over the chronomatrix.
Oops.
Tuesday, you silly girl. We're careening through space-time again.
Sorry, Prof.
And they land somewhere in the distant future.
Where are we? And when are we?
Somewhere in the distant future.
A dystopian hellscape where women rule the world.
I am Queen Vajazzle of the Boobaru tribe.
Oi, let the Prof go, you naked booby woman.
You broke my moves.
And Tuesday is forced to battle the Boobaru jousting champion on top of their giant hairless cat battle steeds.
Oi! I can't control me big bald pussy!
And the professor has an existential crisis.
So much for highbrow humor.
On the next Time Warpers.
Thanks for listening to PSF, Promoting Secular Feminism. If you'd like to hear more episodes, you can find them on our website, promotingsecularfeminism.com, on Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, and soon on the Google Play Store. And if you're listening on a podcast app or would like to listen on a podcast app, you can find our RSS feed on the website. There's a little RSS feed logo, and you can plug that into pretty much any podcast app, and you should be able to access new episodes when they come out. You can also contact us on Facebook, Twitter, facebook.com/promoting secular feminism. On Twitter, we're at secular feminism. And if you'd like to email us, we are promoting secular feminism at gmail.com. We also newly have a Patreon, so if you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so at patreon.com/promoting secular feminism. I'm Miss B. Haven, keeping the stink out of your pink.
And I'm Demanda Wright, and we'll see you next Tuesday.